Have you ever noticed that the woman every man remembers is rarely the loudest, the most beautiful, or the one trying the hardest? The woman who stays in a man's mind is often the one who never begs for attention, never explains her value, and never fears walking away. That is the first secret power understands. The world tells women to become more pleasing, more available, and more agreeable. But Machiavelli would quietly smile at that advice, because those who chase approval eventually become controlled by those who give it. If you wish to hold influence, you must first become someone who can live without it. Men are not drawn only by beauty. They are drawn by mystery, emotional control, confidence, and the quiet feeling that this woman cannot be easily possessed. Today you will discover 13 confident female mindsets that quietly reshape how men think, feel, and behave. These are not tricks. They are ways of seeing yourself that naturally change how others see you. The first mindset begins where almost everyone fails. Mindset number 1. She never makes a man the center of her world. Most people believe love means making someone your highest priority. They cancel plans, ignore their dreams, and slowly rebuild their entire life around one person. At first this looks romantic. Later it becomes a prison. A confident woman understands something different. She knows that love grows stronger when two complete lives meet, not when one life disappears into another. She keeps her goals alive. She protects her routines. She continues learning, growing, and improving whether a man stays or leaves. This creates something powerful. A man begins to realize he is wanted, but not needed. There is a difference. Being needed gives comfort. Being wanted creates desire. The moment someone feels they are your only source of happiness, they stop fearing your absence. Human nature rarely values what it believes will always remain. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Dependence weakens influence. Independence quietly strengthens it. When a woman continues living fully, without asking permission, she becomes difficult to replace because she never abandoned herself in the first place. Imagine two women entering the same relationship. One immediately changes everything to fit the man's schedule. She waits for his messages, rearranges her weekends, and slowly forgets the hobbies that once filled her life with excitement. The second woman enjoys the relationship just as deeply, yet she still meets friends, pursues her ambitions, and guards the parts of herself that existed before love arrived. Months later, which woman appears stronger? Which woman seems more valuable? The answer is obvious. People naturally respect those who respect their own time. Confidence begins with protecting your own life before trying to fit into someone else's. Mindset number 2. She is comfortable with silence. Silence frightens insecure people because they think every pause must be filled with explanations. They text again when no reply comes. They apologize for things that need no apology. They speak simply because they cannot tolerate uncertainty. A confident woman understands that silence often says more than endless words. When someone delays replying, she does not invent stories inside her head. She continues living her day. When a conversation ends, she does not chase another one just to keep attention alive. This calmness creates curiosity. Men begin wondering what occupies her mind. They notice she is not emotionally pulled by every small change. Emotional stability becomes magnetic because it is rare. Most people reveal their fears the moment silence appears. They rush to remove discomfort. The confident woman lets silence work for her instead of against her. She knows that people often expose themselves when they become uncomfortable. Those who remain calm gain information, while others reveal weakness. Think about negotiations. The person who speaks first after an uncomfortable pause often gives away more than intended. Relationships work in similar ways. The one who can peacefully wait often sees the truth arrive without forcing it. Silence is not coldness. It is self-control. Machiavelli believed that revealing less often gives you more power, because mystery keeps people observing instead of assuming. When your emotions are not constantly displayed, your value becomes harder to measure, and what cannot be easily measured often appears more valuable. Mindset number 3. She never competes for attention. Modern life encourages constant comparison. Social media makes people believe they must always prove they are prettier, smarter, richer, or more exciting than everyone else. This endless competition quietly destroys confidence, because there will always be someone receiving more attention today. A confident woman refuses to enter this race. She understands that real value does not shout. It simply exists. If a man constantly compares her with others, or plays games to make her jealous, she does not fight for first place. She simply steps away from the game entirely. This decision surprises many people, because they expect emotional battles. Instead, they meet emotional discipline. When someone truly knows their worth, they do not waste energy convincing others to see it. They allow actions to speak louder than arguments. Men often become fascinated by this attitude because it removes predictable reactions. Instead of chasing validation, she quietly protects her peace. Instead of proving herself, she lets time reveal character. This changes the entire balance of interaction. The person who needs less approval quietly gains more influence. Many women believe confidence comes from hearing compliments every day. True confidence exists before compliments arrive. Imagine a queen walking through her kingdom. She does not stop every citizen to ask whether they think she deserves the crown. She carries herself as though the answer has already been settled. That quiet certainty changes how others respond. People often believe what you consistently believe about yourself. Self-respect becomes contagious. Mindset number 4. She knows when to leave. This may be the hardest lesson of all. Many people stay where they are ignored because they fear loneliness more than disrespect. They accept broken promises, repeated excuses, and endless uncertainty because leaving feels painful. But Machiavelli understood something uncomfortable. Every choice teaches others how they may treat you. If you repeatedly accept poor treatment, you quietly train people to continue giving it. A confident woman refuses to negotiate her dignity. She communicates clearly. She listens carefully. She gives reasonable chances. But once respect disappears consistently, she leaves without endless speeches. She understands that explanations rarely change those who already benefit from ignoring them. Walking away is not revenge. It is protection. There is enormous strength in refusing to stay where your presence is taken for granted. Ironically, many people only recognize value after it disappears. This is not because absence creates magic. It is because constant availability often hides true worth. Distance removes comfort and reveals reality. A woman who can leave without drama demonstrates something unforgettable. She values herself enough to accept temporary loneliness instead of permanent disrespect. Notice that leaving does not always mean ending a relationship forever. Sometimes it means ending unhealthy conversations. Sometimes it means refusing emotional games. Sometimes it means stepping back until actions match words. Boundaries are not walls built to punish others. They are doors that protect what deserves respect. The strongest people do not threaten to leave every week. They simply leave once they know staying would cost them their peace. Mindset number 5. She controls her emotions instead of letting emotions control her. Many people misunderstand emotional strength. They imagine it means never crying, never feeling pain, or pretending nothing matters. That is not strength. That is performance. Real emotional control means feeling deeply, without allowing feelings to make every decision. A confident woman can experience disappointment without destroying her self-worth. She can feel attraction without losing her judgment. She can experience rejection without believing she has lost her value. This difference changes everything because emotional control creates predictable behavior, and predictable strength builds trust. When problems appear, she does not immediately react with anger, panic, or desperation. She pauses. She observes. She asks herself whether today's emotions will still matter next month. Most conflicts lose power when given time, instead of instant reaction. Machiavelli knew that those who master themselves become far harder to manipulate. People who cannot control their emotions often become controlled by those who can. Every insult becomes a hook. Every compliment becomes a leash. Every silence becomes fear. But the disciplined mind quietly cuts those invisible strings. Mindset number 6. She never reveals everything at once. Most people believe honesty means telling someone every thought, every fear, and every detail the moment trust begins. But wisdom understands timing. A confident woman is honest, yet she is not an open book for everyone who asks a question. She understands that trust is earned slowly, not handed over in a single conversation. This is not manipulation. It is protection. Every valuable treasure has a gate. Every meaningful relationship deserves time to grow before every hidden part of the heart is exposed. Men naturally become more invested in discovering someone layer by layer. Human curiosity grows when there is always something left to understand. Mystery is not pretending to be someone else. Mystery is simply refusing to rush intimacy before character has been proven. Machiavelli understood that information is power. Once spoken, words can never return. The wise person chooses carefully which parts of themselves belong to today and which parts belong to tomorrow. Think about meeting a stranger. If they immediately tell you every painful memory, every future dream, and every private secret within the first hour, something feels unbalanced. There has been no foundation built to carry that weight. But when someone slowly shares more as trust grows, every conversation feels meaningful. A confident woman allows people to earn access instead of giving unlimited access for free. Those who value themselves understand that their inner world deserves careful protection. Mindset number 7. She does not fear being misunderstood. One of the greatest prisons in life is the need to explain yourself to everyone. Many people waste years trying to convince others that they are kind enough, intelligent enough, loyal enough, or worthy enough. A confident woman escapes this prison. She understands that some people will judge her no matter what she says. Some will misunderstand her because they only see the world through their own fears and experiences. Instead of exhausting herself correcting every opinion, she allows time and actions to speak louder than endless explanations. This creates incredible freedom. When you stop trying to control every person's opinion, you finally gain control over your own peace. Imagine carrying a heavy bag filled with the expectations of everyone around you. Every decision becomes slower because you constantly ask, will they approve? Will they understand? Will they like me eventually? You forget what you actually want. Machiavelli would say that those who constantly seek universal approval will eventually lose themselves. Leadership has never belonged to those who satisfy everyone. Influence belongs to those who remain steady, even when misunderstood. A confident woman knows her values. She acts according to them, even when applause is absent. Ironically, this quiet certainty often earns more respect than endless attempts to be liked. Mindset number 8. She rewards consistency, not promises. Words are cheap because anyone can learn beautiful sentences. Promises cost nothing until action is required. Many people fall in love with potential instead of reality. They imagine what someone could become rather than observing who that person repeatedly chooses to be. A confident woman watches patterns instead of performances. She listens politely when someone speaks about loyalty, respect, and commitment, but she believes actions far more than speeches. This protects her from disappointment, because reality always leaves clues. Someone who truly values you does not need daily reminders to show respect. Their behavior naturally reflects their priorities. Think about a tree. You do not judge its health by a single green leaf. You watch it through every season. Strong roots reveal themselves over time. Relationships work the same way. One romantic evening cannot erase months of neglect. One apology cannot replace repeated effort. Machiavelli knew that appearances often deceive, but repeated behavior eventually uncovers truth. A confident woman refuses to be hypnotized by charm alone. She pays attention to consistency because character cannot hide forever. This mindset also changes the way men behave around her. Those who only enjoy chasing easy attention often lose interest because empty words no longer work. But men with genuine intentions become more consistent because they understand that reliability, not performance, earns trust. Her standards quietly filter people without needing dramatic confrontations. She saves herself from unnecessary heartbreak simply by observing instead of rushing. Mindset number 9. She makes happiness her own responsibility. This lesson separates emotional maturity from emotional dependence. Many people secretly expect another person to rescue them from boredom, loneliness, sadness, or insecurity. They believe the right relationship will magically solve problems that already existed long before love arrived. A confident woman refuses to place this impossible burden on anyone. She builds a life she genuinely enjoys. She finds purpose beyond romance. She creates routines that bring peace whether she is single or committed. Because of this, love becomes something she shares, not something she desperately needs to survive. There is a powerful difference between saying, "You complete me," and saying, "I enjoy sharing my complete life with you." The first sentence gives away responsibility. The second protects independence. Machiavelli understood that dependence creates vulnerability, because anyone who controls your happiness quietly controls your decisions. But when your peace comes from within, manipulation loses much of its power. A confident woman can love deeply without surrendering ownership of her emotional world. Notice how attractive genuine joy feels. People naturally move toward those who bring calm energy instead of constant emotional storms. Happiness cannot be perfectly constant because every life includes struggle, but responsibility can remain constant. Instead of expecting someone else to repair every wound, she actively heals herself. Instead of blaming life forever, she adapts. That quiet resilience becomes unforgettable because it reflects inner strength rather than borrowed confidence. Mindset number 10. She never chases after someone who keeps running away. This lesson sounds simple, yet countless people ignore it every day. They believe one more message, one more gift, one more chance, or one more sacrifice will finally make someone appreciate them. Sometimes effort is necessary, but endless pursuit often creates the opposite effect. The harder one person chases, the easier the other person begins taking them for granted. Human nature frequently values what must be earned more than what is endlessly offered. A confident woman recognizes this pattern early. If someone repeatedly pulls away without honest communication, she does not destroy her dignity trying to force closeness. She understands that affection given freely is beautiful, but affection demanded through pressure rarely lasts. She leaves space for people to choose. If they return sincerely, they return by choice. If they continue leaving, she accepts reality instead of chasing fantasy. This is not coldness. It is wisdom. Imagine trying to hold water tightly in your hands. The harder you squeeze, the faster it escapes between your fingers. But when your hands remain steady, some water naturally stays. Relationships are similar. Desperation often pushes people away, while calm confidence creates room for genuine connection. Machiavelli observed that those who appear least desperate often possess the greatest influence, because they cannot be easily controlled through fear of loss. This mindset also protects self-respect. Every time someone ignores repeated chasing, confidence quietly weakens. Every unnecessary pursuit sends a hidden message to your own mind that your value depends on another person's response. A confident woman refuses to teach herself that painful lesson. She remembers that rejection is information, not a life sentence. Someone choosing a different path does not erase her worth. It simply reveals that not every road is meant to be traveled together. The strongest women understand that love without respect becomes emotional exhaustion. Attention without consistency becomes confusion. Desire without trust becomes instability. Instead of collecting empty moments, they patiently build meaningful ones. That patience becomes a quiet form of power, because it protects both the heart and the mind. Those who can wait for what is real rarely waste years, chasing what was never meant to stay. Mindset number 11. She treats herself with the same respect she expects from others. This sounds obvious, yet many people demand respect from the world, while quietly disrespecting themselves every single day. They ignore their health. They break promises they made to themselves. They stay in places that slowly destroy their confidence. They speak to themselves with words they would never say to someone they love. A confident woman understands that self-respect is not a speech. It is a daily habit. It is choosing discipline over excuses. It is protecting her peace instead of feeding unnecessary drama. It is keeping her word even when no one is watching. Every small promise she keeps builds trust with herself. That invisible trust becomes visible confidence. People often believe confidence begins when others admire them. The opposite is usually true. Others admire those who already respect themselves. The way you carry yourself tells a silent story before you ever speak. Your posture, your decisions, your boundaries, your standards, and your habits all reveal how you see your own worth. Machiavelli understood that power begins from within long before it is recognized from outside. A person who cannot govern themselves will always struggle to influence anyone else. Self-mastery is the foundation of every lasting form of confidence. Imagine two women entering the same room. Neither says a word. One constantly looks around, hoping someone will approve of her. The other walks calmly, comfortable with herself, whether anyone notices or not. Which one naturally draws attention? It is rarely the one asking for it. Quiet confidence speaks through behavior, not volume. Men notice this because genuine self-respect creates emotional safety. A woman who values herself is less likely to tolerate manipulation, less likely to become desperate, and more likely to build healthy relationships based on mutual respect, rather than emotional dependence. Mindset number 12. She never lets fear make her decisions. Fear has destroyed more opportunities than failure ever could. Fear whispers that you should stay silent because someone may disagree. Fear says you should settle because something better may never come. Fear tells you to chase someone who clearly does not value you, because being alone feels uncomfortable. A confident woman hears fear, but she refuses to obey it. Courage does not mean feeling no fear. Courage means refusing to let fear become the driver of your life. Every important decision contains uncertainty. There are no perfect guarantees in love, friendships, careers, or life itself. Waiting for complete certainty often means waiting forever. Machiavelli believed fortune favors those who are prepared to act, while others remain trapped by hesitation. A confident woman prepares carefully, thinks wisely, and then moves forward. She accepts that mistakes are teachers, not permanent identities. Every experience strengthens her judgment because she learns instead of hiding. Think about an archer aiming at a distant target. If fear controls the hands, the arrow shakes before it ever leaves the bow. The greatest obstacle is often not the wind or the distance, but the doubt inside the mind. Life works the same way. Many people lose before they even begin because they have already convinced themselves they cannot succeed. A confident woman trains her mind differently. She asks, what can I learn instead of? What if I fail? That single question changes everything. It transforms fear into growth and uncertainty into possibility. This mindset also changes the way men respond to her. Confidence born from courage is deeply attractive because it signals emotional maturity. She is willing to have difficult conversations. She is willing to leave unhealthy situations. She is willing to admit mistakes without collapsing into shame. These qualities create trust because they show strength without arrogance. Real confidence never needs to pretend to be perfect. It simply refuses to stop growing. Mindset number 13. She knows that her value cannot be taken away by rejection. This may be the most important lesson of all. Most people spend their lives connecting their worth to other people's choices. If someone loves them, they feel valuable. If someone leaves them, they feel worthless. This creates endless emotional instability, because your identity becomes controlled by decisions you cannot control. A confident woman refuses to build her self-worth on such fragile ground. She understands that rejection often reveals compatibility, not value. A flower does not become ugly because one person walks past without noticing it. The sun does not stop shining because someone closes the curtains. Your value is not decided by another person's preferences. It is revealed through your character, your integrity, your discipline, and the way you continue living after disappointment. Machiavelli understood that those who remain steady after loss, become stronger than those who have never faced it. Adversity is often the greatest teacher, because it exposes the difference between borrowed confidence and genuine inner strength. Many men secretly admire women who recover quickly from setbacks, not because they enjoy seeing pain, but because resilience is rare. Anyone can smile when life is easy. Few can remain graceful after rejection. A confident woman does not beg someone to stay. She does not destroy herself trying to become someone else's perfect fantasy. She accepts that every person has freedom to choose, and she also remembers that she has the same freedom. She continues improving, continues learning, and continues building a meaningful life, regardless of who enters or leaves it. This mindset creates an unexpected kind of attraction. When a woman no longer fears rejection, she becomes impossible to manipulate with the threat of abandonment. She speaks honestly because she is not terrified of losing approval. She sets boundaries because she values peace more than temporary attention. She loves deeply because she chooses to love, not because she fears loneliness. That emotional freedom changes everything. It removes desperation and replaces it with quiet certainty. When all 13 mindsets come together, something remarkable happens. Confidence stops being an act and becomes an identity. She no longer measures herself by compliments, attention, or validation. She measures herself by her discipline, her standards, and the promises she keeps to herself. She understands that mystery is stronger than constant explanation. Calm is stronger than emotional chaos. Patience is stronger than desperation. Self-respect is stronger than endless sacrifice. This is the lesson many people never learn. Influence does not begin when others admire you. It begins when you no longer need them to. The woman who knows her worth walks differently, speaks differently, chooses differently, and lives differently. She does not waste energy forcing people to recognize her value, because she already recognizes it herself. Those who appreciate her are welcomed into her life. Those who do not are allowed to leave without stealing her peace. Machiavelli would remind us that the strongest position is never built on controlling other people. It is built on mastering yourself. The person who cannot be ruled by fear, desperation, or constant approval quietly becomes the hardest person to defeat. And perhaps that is the greatest secret of all. The woman who truly values herself does not chase power, attention, or affection. She becomes the kind of person. These things naturally follow because nothing is more attractive than a mind that cannot be easily shaken. If this video gave you a new way to see confidence and power, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more timeless lessons inspired by Machiavelli. Share your thoughts in the comments below and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, stay wise, stay disciplined, and never let others control your mind.